Hi there, I'm Jacob Aller. I'm the film editor of the AV Club, and I'm here with Mimi Cave, director of Holland.
Hello.
Hey, Mimi. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So the film has not premiered yet. We've gotten like a super spicy trailer that has like gotten everybody theorizing. Can you give us like a log line of the movie? Just like a nice, little thing.
I did not prepare this. The trailer hopefully intrigues you, but it's a small town mystery thriller about a wife sort of unraveling secret after secret. I can't give anything away, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, the vaguer the logline is, the more exciting the movie is. That's sort of the general rule. Well, I know this script has kind of been kicking around Hollywood for like a decade, more than a decade.
Yeah.
So what made this, for you, coming off of Fresh, the right script at the right time to follow up with?
I read this script while I was editing Fresh, so I hadn't even finished that yet, and I was like hungry to get going again. And I think I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago. It's very close to there. I grew up going to Holland, Michigan, and so I could find my way into the story. I connected with the characters, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So.
Midwestern paranoia is like a genre unto itself. I think especially when you cast Nicole Kidman, you tap into Stepford Wives, you tap into Dogville, like you tap into some don't trust men cinema, which I think is sort of your vibe anyway.
Is that the new genre?
Yeah.
Don't trust men.
Well, it should be every genre of film.
Don't trust men.
Honestly.
DTMC. Yeah. There we go. Hashtag.
But I think watching Fresh, you do something which is you introduce something that seems very straightforward, a very straightforward type of genre film, and then you pivot hard after leaving a few clues that everybody should pick up on. And this seems very much the same, where everyone should pick up on that stuff isn't right in small towns.
Yeah, I think this one we really played with what your perception of reality is, the life you think you're living, the safety you think you might have, and how quickly that can be stripped away.
Yeah. How do you determine how to ramp things up right to the edge before you do the reveals? Because even in your short films that I've watched, there's one where a guy's on the phone, normal phone conversations, and he confesses to something heinous. How do you know the right moment to hook us just far enough?
What's the question, Jacob?
The question is, when do you make that tonal edit? When do you make that choice?
Honestly, I think it's probably I'm an anxious person, so I try to tap into my own anxiety and how far I could take that until I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's just instinct. Yeah.
So sort of a tangential question to that is, how do you marry very relatable, realistic material like dating in Fresh, or a small town that might be a little goofy like Holland, Michigan, where they got the tulip parade and all that stuff? How do you marry that with stylistic flourishes like all the dancing in Fresh, or flowers and train sets in Holland?
I think with Fresh and Holland, slightly different, but using themes that have to do with things we all deal with all the time, dating, day-to-day life, like getting sort of into the in-between moments of that. And I think with Holland, you have this very sort of colorful, happy, perfect world, and it's just about finding the cracks, and they're always there, no matter what you're dealing with. So that's kind of my sweet spot, I think.
Nice. I know Nicole Kidman you guys connected over, I know she reached out about some of your short films and enjoying them and enjoying Fresh. Was the connection along artistic sensibilities? Was there something that you were doing visually that she connected with? What was that conversation like when she first approached you?
Nicole is like a unicorn. So she's really interested in different directors and their unique take on things, and she gets really excited by that, which is very special and not always the case. And so I think she felt like perhaps I had a specific point of view and felt maybe safe to kind of go on a ride with me as an actor, because she knew that whatever I was thinking up, it was going to be specific, and she really is attracted to unique choices.
Mm-hmm. Do you mean like in terms of character, in terms of...
Yeah, I think in terms of perspective, too. I mean, she's been working with a lot of female directors lately, and I think it is a different experience.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not an actor, I can't say, but I think there's a certain connection with a female actress and a female director where you're really kind of getting to share in the character a little bit, and so it's something very special. And honestly, I can't say otherwise why she took a chance on me.
Yeah.
So.
I can imagine it feels a little safer to try something that maybe goes a little big or takes a pivot that maybe you wouldn't trust another director to understand.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I mean, once she commits to a script or to working with a director, she's all in. So you can't ask for anything better as a director than someone who's that committed.
Yeah. When you talked about being from Chicago earlier, I'm also from Chicago. What Midwesternness did you bring to making sure Holland felt like a real place?
I mean, it's kind of down to like every detail. Even the house that the Vandergroots live in. I fashioned wallpaper after wallpaper that was in my home growing up. Like, wow. I really went all the way into my childhood. I set the story back in 2000 when I was a high schooler, and yeah, I kind of just really used that experience from my past to feed into the film.
I bet your production designer loved you. I bet she was like, thank you.
I think my production designer is the star of the film. Actually, you guys will see it's pretty incredible art direction, so I'm excited.
You guys have wicked levels of flowers everywhere, right?
Yeah, and I went in a direction of just trying to do pattern on top of pattern on top of pattern. I wanted everything in the frame to clash and feel claustrophobic, so at first they did not like me, my production designer and costume designer, but I think they finally got it. So hopefully it works for everybody.
Well, you can tell sort of just in the difference in aesthetics in the trailer alone, you get that maximalist feeling a lot of the time with the bright colors. And then you get to somewhere like the optometrist's office, which is like, okay, am I going to get murdered right now? There's no colors. It's super tight. I think navigating that and walking that tightrope is something where you can flex your visual muscles a little more than, I don't know, I guess a film that's more script reliant.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to each their own. I personally am someone who's really connects to a story through the visual language, and so that's just me. And I think other people really focus more on other things. So I don't think there's any right or wrong. I think I'll always look for the visual language in a script, in a story. It's just how I tell stories. But yeah, we really pushed it far with this one, so I'm excited.
I guess, how did you, aside from Nicole Kidman, cast the rest of your film? How did you cast Matthew McFadyen, Gael Garcia Bernal?
Gael and Matthew were always my first picks for those roles. I wasn't sure if Matthew was going to be able to do it, so he was finally free a week before we started. And Gael and Nicole had always wanted to work together, so when I suggested him, she was very excited by that. And I mean, it's an electric cast. Jude as well. They all filter into this perfect little puzzle of these odd Midwestern characters that are very much, very familiar to me. So I think you guys will really like their dynamic.
Young actors seem so hard to cast. How do you pick the right one first and then get them where you need them? It
takes a long time, and it's important to spend some time with them so that they feel comfortable. That they have the support system in their life to kind of withstand an experience of filming a movie, because it's just a lot for a kid. Jude is a very special kid, and when I did his second casting call, there was just something, he's an Irish kid, and I'm asking him to play a Western Michigan boy, a teenager in the year 2000. So I made him a disc of music from that time and got him in the zone there. But when I was in the casting call with him, he's, in his Irish accent being so polite, and then we said action, and it was the kid absolutely incredible. I had chills, and he just nailed it. Like probably the most professional of all of us, you know, the most mature too.
Yeah.
So, I really lucked out with him, but I had fallen in love with him from Belfast.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
incredible in Belfast.
Really incredible.
Okay, give me like top cut. What was on the mixtape? Like number one.
Oh my God, throwing me back. I mean, it was like Blind Melon.
Oh, totally.
You know, but then an array. There was rap, there was grunge, there was.
And he's like Irish Gen Z. He's like, I
Yeah.
have no idea what any of this is.
He had no idea. It was great. It was Bjork. It was Talking Heads. It was, you know, and just a lot. Like also some boy bands. Got to put that in there.
Yeah. Well, and I think getting that period setting gives you a lot more to play with, story-wise as well.
Yeah, it's so fun to jump back in that zone, but also to like teach someone about what that life was like. So yeah, we really had a good time living in that time period.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had one thing you could tell this audience about Holland, pitch them to come see it tomorrow at its premiere, what would it be?
I think it's just it's kind of a harken back to like movies of the early 2000s. It's a fun movie. It's like something you want to see with your friends. There's comedy, there's action, there's thriller. So I just want people to enjoy the ride and forget about everything else going on in the world for 2 hours and enjoy cinema.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mimi. It's been great to have you. Thank you so much.